Kia ora, New Zealand. Welcome to Sweet Chain Live. My name is Matt Drake. This is episode 186, and I'm joined this evening by my co-host, Morgan Harvell. Good evening, Morgan.
Kia ora, Matt. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm doing very well, actually. It's been a nice week here, weather-wise. It's been absolutely fantastic.
It's done a bit of a 180, the weather across the country, hasn't it? It's been beautiful down here as well.
Yeah, you've been out much? You've been out to get...
Yep. Hit a couple of rounds here and there. Got a little bit of lawn bowls in this week. Had a little bit of work too.
Oh wow. Okay. I managed to get to Harcourt Park at the weekend. My favourite course, and didn't the score wasn't great. I shot +2, which is okay, I guess, but it was really good to get out with. And one, I was playing with my wife and my kids, so that was fun. But also it was great to get out and try a few things that I haven't normally done before, right? And so this was one of these rounds where you get out and you throw a disc that you don't normally throw on a thing, right? You're not necessarily going for your top score. You're testing a little bit, and it was absolutely great fun. Really, really good. So learned heaps in preparation for Fault Line Fury, which is around the corner.
Yeah, nice one. I got down to Invercargill at the weekend for the Marsden wedding, which was just fantastic. So a big congrats to Brad and Erica. Your wedding was just stunning. It was really awesome to see all of the people, his friends and family, and just such a good time. While I was down there, Matt, I actually got gifted a couple of new discs from one of the boys down there. One of them being the Rollo. You just kind of reminded me here, but I got gifted a Rollo, the new Innova disc that's designed for rolling, hence the name. Okay. What an incredible piece of plastic. Have you ever thrown one?
I haven't. What, like a Mamba?
Nah, so it's like I sort of, when I hold them, I almost compare it to a Wombat 3 in the feeling, the shape of the disc. It's a mid-range. There's quite a bit of dome to the top of it, or quite a lot of ridge to the top of it, not much on the underside. And man, I went for a round at the Gardens a couple of days ago, and I just basically threw new discs and shot a 12 down. And everywhere that I would usually throw a forehand with like a Rive or a Firebird, I'd just throw this Rollo and get this clean turnover shot, which is just insane. So like, if you guys get the chance to get your hands on a Rollo, I wish I had one here to put up for the camera. It's out in the car. Do it. What an amazing piece of plastic.
Sounds like he that I might need to get hold of one. I should see what I can do. So yeah, look, we've got a great show today. We're going to kick off very shortly. We're actually going to kick off with our guest tonight because there's been a bit of a breakdown in the hot scores machine, and so unfortunately we don't have any hot scores for you this evening, which is with apologies. So yeah, they'll be back next week. But we do have our guest tonight, who played in the tournament last weekend, right? So there was the South Island Masters Games.
Yep.
So it was part of a wider sports. I don't want to say like kind of like an Olympics almost, but like with across the South Island, or at least that part, with lots of different sports going on. And our guest tonight took part in and won the MA50 division of the Discdle in Waimate. So good evening to our guest tonight, Mark Tebbutt. Good evening.
Evening, guys. Evening, Matt. Evening, Morgan.
G'day,
How's
mate.
It going?
So good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Look, you this is the first time you've been on, so first up, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
But you played in Waimate this last weekend, and you were talking to us in the green room a minute ago about how many events that you've played in recently, and I was like, that's astounding. I can't believe that you played as many events as you have. What can you just tell everybody in the audience like what numbers you're up to, because I was astounded by
it. Pretty much I started in 2018. I'm probably up to 50, 52, 53 tournaments in the last sort of 5 years. On average 12 probably 15 tournaments per year. So it's probably one a month. Yeah, I've had a good year this year. It's my 6th one for the year, so happy with that.
I was going to say, I looked back at this, and you've got Cloud Factory Clash was in MA40. That was your first win. Then you had Sub-Zero in MA50, Tucker Beach Rush, and Flight Park Open, and then this one makes it the 4th on the bounce. Is that right? Oh no, Seafarer. I missed the Seafarer at the beginning of the year
in January.
That's the 6th one, or the first one of the 6. So yeah, that's an incredible performance. And what do you think is what's kind of going on? You've hit a bit of a roll. Figured something out.
When I started, it was my first tournament was in Chicago, Southern Smash. My first tournament, I was 44 over on the small course, so I was pretty much last in my division. I had Iran. Iran was down there selling discs, and during the lunch break, I went and spoke to Iran, and he gave me 3 discs to try because I had no idea. Gave me 3 discs, told me to take them away to the field, have a throw, and yeah, sort of started from there. But pretty much the key for me this year is just field work. Pretty much every day I'm out throwing. I've got probably 250 discs, and yeah, I'm off to the field throwing the drivers that I throw. I've got 4 or 5 of each sort of mold, and throwing them into different winds from different angles, releasing them on hyzer and hyzer, and putting. I'm not a great putter, but 5 to 6 meters is sort of my distance, and pretty consistent at that. Anything further than 6 meters, it's pretty much luck for me, or a layup in a tournament, depending on where I'm sitting.
Tebs, most people we speak to that are doing field work, like you say you are of the younger generation.
I was just literally about to say the same thing.
It's the Sebastian Falconers, the Sam Likens of the world. These are the guys that are getting out there doing field work. My excuse is I'm a busy man, and now you're just making me feel super lazy. So thank you for that for one. But for two, man, that's going back to what we've said so many times. It's just practice makes perfect day, and actually putting in that time and effort and finding the time of the day to get out there. And it's clearly paying dividends. You've had, as Matt just said before, 6 wins this year, 5 on PDGA, the South Island Masters team. The South Island Masters win in MA40 there. And obviously you've just been scooped up by NZDSS on the Masters team as well. So something's working here, right?
Yeah, I think it's just consistency, really. Playing consistent, putting in the time. I work at a prison, so I get plenty of off days. So I work 7 out of 14 days. So I've got 7 days off a fortnight. So
wow. Okay.
I've got a bit of time up my sleeve to practice. And yeah, I've given up downhill mountain biking and karate for this. So
oh goodness, keep the karate up, mate. You are in the prison. We need you to be on your toes and on guard. The mountain biking can be put to the wayside because I agree that can be terrifying and a lot of injuries coming from that. We need you at the top of MA40 for as long as you can be.
So I just wanted. Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
No, sorry, buddy. Go.
I just want to delve into this into the field work and putting a little bit more, because I think that for some people, and I would put myself into this pool as well, and certainly as someone who is playing in an age protected division, right? How do you kind of structure your practice fieldwork sessions? And how are you kind of going about, this is what my goal of today's session is, or whatever, right? What's your plan there? Because I think that a lot of people go, oh, field work, you got to get out and do field work. And then you go, okay, so what are you going to do? And people go, I'll go and throw in a field. Okay, what are you going to try and achieve? And I'm not sure whether that kind of next layer of detail, which could be so important, is often fleshed out as much as it perhaps could be useful to be. So talk us through your experience of what you do.
Pretty much I decide on what I'm throwing, and one day it'll be approach discs. So pretty much all I throw for approach discs are pigs and bullfrogs, and I've got about 5 of each. So that'll be it for an hour, just throwing pigs and bullfrogs and just I'll set up a marker. And
I was going to say, so you got a portable basket, or do you just throw it your bag, or what?
I just throw them into a soccer net on the field or into a tree, just aim for a tree, 50, 60, 70 meters out, and just try and park them up from different angles and different winds, depends on the wind for the day, which way it's blowing.
Yeah.
The next day it'll be mids, and the next day I split my drivers up from destroyers to felons, chargers, and swords. That's pretty much what I throw for my drivers. So I'll just take one of each and just learn it and just keep throwing them, break them down bit by bit.
Fantastic. So I mean, you've got some pretty overstable stuff in your bag there.
Yeah. I've gone from Mumbas, Road Runners, and bolts to pretty much those discs.
Yeah. How good's a sword? That's an incredible piece of plastic right there.
Yeah. Very popular.
Mine makes its way in and out of the bag, depending on the course.
My last count, I had 13 swords.
Hey, hang on. Actually, talk to me about this. What is with Westside and Dunedin? I know they've been a sponsor of tournaments past, but man, everyone down there is just repping Westside hard. I love it.
I think that's a bit of Tom Mackay. I think he started that, and he's a Westside fan.
Yeah.
So,
it was always Westside, and then what was that other one? Is it not Polar Bear? What was he throwing with the putters, the Polar Bears and whatnot? Someone in the chat, if you don't know, Mark, might remember. Daredevil discs, that's what it was.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Always in the Daredevil and Westside.
And have you got a similar kind of routine for putting? Do you have like a game that you play with yourself, or is it just a case of going, right, we've got just make as many as you can from whatever distance you're deciding to practice from?
I've just got a basket in the garage, and the garage is 6 meters, so that's pretty much what I putt from 6 meters, and pretty consistent at that distance. Anything further back than that, I struggle. So I sort of rely on my approach shots to land in that sort of circle, 5 to 6 meter range. And that worked for me at Waimate. My putts, I don't think I missed any putts from that distance. So I just made sure my approach discs did the job, because I can't putt that well from any further than that distance. So
yeah, makes a huge difference. Like knowing, like if you know that you're confident from say 6 meters, I think that makes a huge difference, right? Because I mean, right, and so bear with me. I'm about to go into the maths here, Morgan. So
okay.
just
send it.
Just bear with me, right? If you have a 6 meter, if you can putt 100% from 6 meters or less, right? Let's just take that. You've got 113 square meters of land, right, to put your disc in order to give you then 100% putt afterwards. That seems like, how does that work, right? That's just like 100 square meters. Sounds like a huge piece. Like air. All you got to do is stick it in there and bang, you'll have 100% putt. That's crazy. I think I've done the maths on that, right? Someone will correct me probably, but
someone figure that out, would you please?
Just fact check me on that one if you can. 113.04 is what I've got. But anyway, so it must be quite encouraging and to know that it's okay, because all I've got to do, I don't have to get it near the basket. I've got to get it in this, 100 square meter patch that's near the basket. And that takes the pressure off the upshots and the drives before them.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Talk us through the South Island Games that you played recently at Nottingley. Now you took out when you played Nottingley earlier this year. You took out 5th. Was the course the same as the Giants course?
No, it was just a standard course, standard 18-hole course with a few OBs mixed in, but it was totally different course. I think the Giants was 27 holes.
And how was the vibe different? What was it like a PGA sanctioned that kind of a what you might call regular event? Was it very similar?
Very, very similar. The only difference really was they were scoring off UDisc instead of the PDGA app. But apart from that, the Waimate Club ran it to a high standard. Everything was perfect. Timings, the course was immaculate. The OBs were marked clearly. It was just they had an event on the Saturday night at the Waimate Bakery they had live music and
at the bakery of all places.
Yep, at the bakery they had
that.
Yep, burgers and beer, $20 and live music for the players. It was, very.
And that wasn't just disc golfers, was it? That was people from all sports.
No, it was just disc golfers plus.
Oh, it was just disc golfers. Apologies.
Yes. The Masters Games was actually based in Timaru, but the course in Timaru wasn't big enough, so they had the disc golf at Nottingley.
Yep. Fantastic. So you'll be back next year to defend, surely?
Yep. If my boss gives me time off, I'll be there.
Are you going to move up to the North Island to do the North Island version if they do disc golf?
It's up to the wife, really. She's pretty good.
Is she nearby right now? I know you're not alone right now.
She'll be watching, but she's pretty good. I mean, I do a hell of a lot of tournaments and spend a lot of money traveling, and I'm just lucky that she is, she's happy for me to go and do my thing. And
yeah, for sure. That's one thing, man. It's not just the field work and practice that you're doing that's paying off. Is you are at basically every event that's within a reasonable distance of travel, right? Anywhere all the way up to Wanaka, Ohau, Twizel, you're there. Every single
4 events between now and the end of the year. I mean, there's 4 more events still for you, and there's only 10 weeks. So and there's not many towards the end of the year as well. December time.
You got Wahi, Moonbase, Temuka, Tussle, and Day at the Lake. Oh yes, it's a good way to finish the year, Mark.
I'm pretty lucky. I've got a friend of mine, Lance Eason, that we sort of do a lot of traveling together.
Yep.
And it saves us a lot of money and carpooling and accommodation. We actually stayed in a tent at Waimate. Lance was doing quite well in the MA40s, and Saturday night his earbed went flat, so he pretty much slept on the ground. Woke up on Sunday, he could hardly stand up, so he had a bit of a shopping round.
I hate to tell you this, Lance, because I'm sure you're watching, but Mark probably had one of these in his room next to his bed. Sabotage, I'm calling it sabotage. No, that's right. You guys get all over the place, and it's not just you two. There's you guys definitely travel the most together, but then there's a big crew of Dunedin that's getting around, right? And it's like when you guys arrive to an event and there's literally 10 plus of you almost at every single one. You've got that community vibe, something you're used to being around, maybe some nerves that you might have if you're at a tournament on your own are probably out the window for the most part because you've got that such community that you're around all the time regularly, right?
Yes. Yep. No, we're pretty lucky. It's a good group. And we have Jack and Isaac travel together. There's a lot of small pockets of the club that all come and play.
Yeah, for sure. Jack and Isaac may be the only ones that get to more tournaments than you, I think.
Probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't checked the stats on that, but it seems that way because I
think Ben Schicker might also have something to say about that as well. He's he knows a lot. But so what goals have you got then? If you've won the last 4 events, what goals have you got in terms of achievements in the tournaments towards the end of the year? Do you have the same kind of do you put the same kind of thought into what you want to achieve as to your prep and your field work, etc.?
Yep, nothing will change. It's even I'll be more daylight savings here now, so I've got more time to get out and practice. Yeah, nothing changes. Just try and be consistent. I think that's the key. Consistent. Most tournaments, you always have 3 or 4 bad holes, and you could have done better. The Masters games, there was nothing I really did wrong. It was just consistent. The whole thing. It just sort of flowed.
Fantastic.
Well, let's see. You've got 4 what will be very competitive events still to come. But it's yeah. Look, we're gonna. It's really hope that you do very well at those. Talk us through your bag. You mentioned you had destroyers and felons.
Yes.
And swords,
yes.
And then your mid-range. And you've got pigs for approach. Yep. What's your mid-range?
I'd have Mako 3s. I've thrown those forever.
Oh, those new ones are nice.
Yeah, they are. They're super flat, super straight.
Yeah, super straight, right?
But I bought this new Ocean Disc in Queenstown at the Float Park Open. And
lovely.
That's probably
sea turtle.
That's going to take the place of my Mako, I think, and that's saying something. The Mako's my favorite, but this is probably going to take it.
Shout out to Ollie. He's in the chat right now. I see him over in YouTube. Welcome.
So does that fly pretty straight for you, that sea turtle?
Yep, just a slight bit of fade at the end. It's a 5501. Yeah, pretty much 80 to 90 meters with a bit of fade. This got me quite a few birdies at Waimea.
Okay.
Sometimes
80 to 90 meters. I'm impressed with that. I think I struggle to get my Mako out to 90.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, if it's with those kind of numbers, I'd probably be looking at it as a 60 to 70 meter disc, honestly. But I certainly need to get myself one of those sea turtles. They look
great disc.
I've only heard good things about them. So yeah, right. Now you haven't been on the show before. 186 episodes in. So we're going to have a go at Desert Island disc golf. So the premise of this part of the show, for anybody who is new and hasn't seen one of these before, is that Mark is stranded on a desert island. On this desert island, there is a disc golf course. Fortunately, and he has been washed ashore with 3 of his favorite discs and 3 of his favorite card mates. And so they're completely his choice. The disc can be whatever he wants, and the card mates can be whoever he wants. So they can be living or dead. They can be fantasy characters. They can be his best mates. They can be family, or they can be seasoned pros. It doesn't matter. Mark, what are you throwing on your desert island?
A disc I cannot do without. Warpig. I can use it for
a Warpig. That's your first. And do you putt with those as well? Like
no, I can, but I don't. But I would.
Okay.
On an island.
You can, but you don't. But you would. And okay, for the purposes of this,
I've only got 3 discs, so yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Okay. So what are you taking as a second?
It's got to be the Ocean Disc Sea Turtle, especially with a desert island. It sort of suits.
It does. That's very apt. So yeah, excellent. Okay, so sea turtle and a war pig, and do the war pigs go straight for you, or they're beefy?
Yep, beefy. Probably 70 meters. Throw it out hard to the right, and it just fades in. Fades in.
Very nice. Very nice. And what's your driver of choice?
It's a 150 gram G-Star Destroyer. And it goes.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, okay. So, talk me through this. 150 grams is lightweight, so that's going to be a bit flippier than perhaps a regular 175 Destroyer. G-Star plastic. How does this affect its stability?
For me, this goes straight, probably 90 meters, and just a slight bit of fade at the end.
I'm quite shocked by that, knowing that you can throw a Mako 90 on 80 to 90 meters, that goes straight for you.
Yeah.
Seems like an anomaly.
Because G-Star's quite it's got a bit of give in it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And that tends to make discs a touch more stable when they're like like that over being like rigid. So okay.
The hole 14 at Waimea, I think it's 90 meters, and this parked it twice. I got 2 birdies with this, and I hit the pole in the last round.
Yes,
just
asserting dominance on the last round. I love it.
Excellent. So you've got a G-Star Destroyer, a Sea Turtle, and a War Pig. And who are your 3 card mates? Who are you taking with you?
Okay. Well, I've got 4 names for now. I won't have to drop one. A good friend of mine that I first met when I started disc golf has been so supportive, and a good friend of mine be Wayne Brown, one of the Brown family. Mike Dalton, we started together in Te Anau just by chance when we first started in 2018. So I'll take Mike. Lance Eason, good friend of mine, and Andrew Barnett. So I've got 4 names, but I'm not taking any of those 4. The reason being, but the reason being, Leon and Iran have been so good to me, giving me a spot in their team, and we're all pretty much the same on par with the way we play. So thanks to those guys, I'll be taking Iran, Leon, and my son Matthew, who's sitting here right beside me.
Fantastic, fantastic. What a that sounds like it would be a good laugh. That sounds like it would be a very, very good laugh. And yeah, so excellent. Now, we've got also, Morgan, are you ready for the second half? Excellent. We're going to go through our Sweet Chain Safari. So again, if you've not come across this, the Sweet Chain Safari runs as follows. We've got 18 questions for Mark to get to know him a little bit better. The first 9 are the family-friendly front 9. Same questions every week to every guest. And then there's a Safari back 9, which is different questions to each guest and take the form of a this or that. So question number 1, what's your name?
Mark Tebbutt.
Where do you live?
I was born in England, but live in Dunedin.
Where were you born?
Leicester.
What's your PDGA number?
132232.
What's your favourite course?
Paradise.
Your favourite disc?
Mako, but possibly a Sea Turtle, but Mako at this stage.
Okay, and how many years have you been playing? I'm doing this all in a terrible order. So the Safari family frontline.
6.
6 years, excellent. And your favourite MPO player?
Calvin Heimberg.
And your favourite FPO player?
Cat Merch.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Morgan,
Roger,
do you have a back 9?
Roger Dodgy. Yeah, we absolutely do. After hearing about your bag, and I know what you've said your favourite discs are, but I still need to ask a couple of these questions. What do you prefer, stable or understable?
Stable.
Stable, okay. Take one out of the bag, the sword or the destroyer?
Probably the sword.
It can't come back. It can't come back.
The sword, because it turns over in a bit of headwind, so it's a wee bit risky. So it'd be the sword.
Okay. Roger, we know you love to get out and do field work, but do you prefer to do field work, or do you just prefer to be out on the course getting your reps in out there in a real world scenario?
Yep, out on the course.
Out on the course. So I tried to figure this one out for myself during the chat here, but are you forehand or backhand dominant?
Backhand.
Backhand. Do you prefer a long open course or a tight wooded course?
Long open course.
Long and open. Okay. Wet but calm or dry but windy?
Dry but windy.
Okay. Drop one again forever. Chingford or Brockville?
Drop Chingford.
Drop Chingford.
Brockville rocks.
Roger. Would you prefer to beat Lance every single day of the week, or give him one win a week?
Oh, I beat him at Waimea, so he's still a bit sulky over that. Beat him.
All right. So you work in the prison. Do you prefer day shift or night shift work?
I don't do nights, so I only
Don't do nights.
No.
Roger. And for the last question, hole 18, I just want to test your allegiance here. Cut 1, Otago Highlanders, or the less.
Oh man.
All right. Okay, the blood runs deep here. I like this.
It does.
Judging by the Highlanders' results the last couple of years, done. Be the list of Tigers.
Highlanders are gone, baby. They're out of here. List of Tigers for life. Thank you very much, Mark. That was your 18 holes on the Safari and Safari Back 9. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Mark. And thank you so much for joining us. It's been great fun having you on the show. We've learned a lot, and yeah, it's great to see someone playing so much disc golf and putting in the field work and doing all the things that we know that we read about pro disc golfers doing, who's playing in MA50. I think that's fantastic, and a great inspiration to all the old people, myself included in that, out there who are still rocking. So yeah, very well done, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, Mark. No, you're welcome, bro. Good to see you. Thank you very much.
See you next time. Very best of luck.
Great interview there, Matty.
Look, I think it's incredible that I mean it's an inspiration to me to get out and do more stuff. I don't do anywhere near as much field work or putting practices.
No, I think he's doing more field work than I'm actually playing disc golf. One thing I want to say here is, Lance, if you are in the chat, I actually haven't spotted your name there, but if you're in the chat, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to have a dig at you. I just really wanted Mark to feel really good about himself this week, beating on his good friends. But I do want to give you a big shout out as well, because Lance actually got picked up by Vortica Disc Golf this week and has picked himself up a sponsorship. So congratulations, man. That's absolutely deserved. You're out there doing the thing along with Mark week in and week out. So well done to both of you.
Right, next up, Morgan, we are going to look at a upcoming event that was very special last year, worked very well. And so we're going to go, and I've got a question for you. How many days until Christmas?
44, 45.
I'm just bringing it up now. 69 days until Christmas. Okay. 69 days. And this year, like last year, we're running a Secret Santa. So here's how you get involved. Now, you'll be aware of the premise of Secret Santa, I hope. Basically, you enter in, you put your details into a Google form. It's free to apply and be a part of. And then you'll get sent a name and a address of someone, and then you send them a Christmas present in the form of, now, the Christmas present can be whatever you like, but the minimum you can send them is one premium plastic. So that's like Atomic, Cosmic, ESP, give me some more. The Royal line in Lat 64, the premium plastic.
Yeah. Royal line.
And it needs to be brand new, right? Brand new, 9.5 upwards.
Little asterisk next to that one, right? Brand new.
And you send that to your Secret Santa, who will send you, right? So now the dates for this, first up on your screen now is a Facebook group, the New Zealand Disc Golf Secret Santa 2024. Make sure that you get involved and have joined that page, so that you can follow everything that happens. Because last year what we had people posting pictures of their parcel ready to go before it gets sent, with a little clue maybe about where it's going to. And then when people open their packages, some did it. You did a video for it, eh? You did like a live unboxing. Video
because my package came in at like this, and I was like, okay, there's more than one thing in here. So yeah,
indeed. And if you have a look at some of the, I don't know whether producer Tom can go to the
scroll down
to like the media part of that page, or even just scroll down. Yeah, some of the gifts that people were getting were fantastic. The generosity of the
Firebird there. Whew.
Of the average New Zealander, New Zealand disc golfer was fantastic. So it wasn't just discs people were putting in packages. It was chocolate, it was minis, it was lollies, it was a bit of everything really. And it's an opportunity for everybody to share a bit of Christmas spirit and to get involved with the man, the myth there, to get involved with a bit of Christmas spirit. So it's a good bit of fun. So you're gonna need a link to get into this, and I think producer Tom's going to put this into the chat now. When you click on the link, you'll get a form that looks a little bit like this. That's up on the screen, and you just need to fill it out. So it's ever so easy: name, address, phone number, and email address. That's really so that we can contact you if there's anything that's not quite right about your entry. You know, maybe you missed something on your address that would be quite useful. And then your favorite disc, which might give the person who gets you some indication of what it is that you throw, or whatever. Your favorite player. So again, if they've got a Tour Series disc out, this might give them a nudge as to the kind of thing you like. Your favorite chocolates or lollies. What we found last year was that people were packing packages with chocolates and lollies and stuff. And then just an agreement to it. So head over to the link. It's in the chat now. I'll also put it into that Facebook group. Now you've got a few weeks to do this. Okay, so the dates that we have for this, I'm just going to bring them up now. We're launching it today, and I don't know if producer Tom's got the details up on the screen or can get them. But the dates that we're looking at, we're launching it today. 29th of November, sign up ends. Okay, so you've got about 6 weeks to get your name on the sheet, right? So plenty of time. 4th of December, we'll send the names out, and this is how it's going to work. So what we do is we divide the list in two, and I give Morgan one half of the list that's got my name in it, and I keep the other half of the list that's got his name in it, and then we jumble them up we each jumble them up, and then we send out the names of the people they've got. So Morgan doesn't know who he's got, and I don't know who I've got. Who's got me? Sorry, I should say. So that's how that works. So make sure you click on the link and get involved. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot.
It was super fun last year, right? Super fun and so well received.
We had a lot of people signing up. I can't remember the number we had last year, but I'll have to look it up. But it was a good amount. And then it was very fun to see all the packages that people were opening and spreading a bit of Christmas spirit was real good fun. So encourage you to get involved. The link is in the chat. There's also a link which I'll post into the Secret Santa Facebook page, so you get involved. You got 6 weeks to sign up, so no rush, but make sure that you do get your entry in if you're keen to be involved with it. One premium plastic brand new disc is what anybody should expect to receive, but also the minimum that you should that you need to take part. But we encourage people to go all out. There were a few packages last year where that happened. It was fantastic to see.
Way above and beyond for sure.
Indeed. We'll share some of the best ones up on the show as they come in. It's quite cool to see what some of the people are getting. Right, let's go and what should we do now? Play some Discdle?
Sure thing.
Well, actually, no. Before we do that, actually, it's probably best to go over the results in a little bit more detail of the South Island Masters games before we start playing games ourselves. Let's go over some more serious stuff.
I think just because he's bringing it up in our ears and in our chat over here, I think Tom wanted to pop in and have a word. Just
yeah.
Are you sure you're all right, Tom? Are you sure? Tom, you competed at the weekend. I'd love to hear your take on things.
I did compete in the weekend. It was
he's talking to us.
No, I'm talking to everyone now. Everyone can hear me.
Okay.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, no, it was a good wee tournament. I was actually just going to mention, so the South Island, North Island, and New Zealand Masters, um, they don't create the sports themselves and run them, so they need people to approach people from clubs to approach them in order for the sport to be featured. So I understand. I don't think there was a disc golf in the North Island Masters, and there isn't one currently for the New Zealand Masters. Um, and they tend to alternate between cities every year. So South Island, I know, is between Timaru and Blenheim, I think I said in the chat. But
Yep.
if you know anyone or a part of a club in that area who wants to see disc golf in the Masters, by all means, get in touch with them. It sounds like they're easily approachable. This does go international as well, so there is actually a Trans-Tasman Masters and International Masters as well, if you're good enough. So yeah, no, I just wanted to say get involved if you want to see more of it around the country. Cheers, boys.
There we go.
Brilliant.
There it is.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you very much, Tom. Looking at the results then from the weekend in MA40, Jeremy Hills wins by 6 strokes overall, and overall beats Lance Eason thanks to a very strong second round. That was that's what did the business for him, a 53 in the second round.
Sort of called that one going into the event last week, right? Just after his performance that he put together at Fly Park Open, his most recent one. Just in some really strong form right at the moment.
Yeah. Kelvin Cummings rounding out the podium. Marie Cummings wins FA40 again relatively comfortably. Final 2 rounds, putting it together and getting a lead and keeping it there.
Competitive though, right? You know, only 5 shots from first to last there, so competitive.
And there won't have been any times, I suspect, during that final round where, I mean, Murray would have felt comfortable. It's that kind of difference of score where you're like, maybe, you really got to stay focused on it. Mark Tebbutt beats out Gregor Brosnan into second with his final round score of 3 down, which was a 4-shot advantage over Gregor. Deborah Hunter wins FA50. And then you had Wayne Doyle competing in MA60, Marik Bacchus competing in FA60, and in MA30 you had Brenley Marshall, who won comfortably by 10 shots over Latham Storm, and then Producer Tom in 3rd place, putting in a very fine performance there in MA30. Amy Marshall competing in FA30. So we're on a little bit of a not a down period, but a little bit of a quiet period right now. We
don't get too many of them, right, anymore.
What's that?
Down periods.
Oh yeah, no, we don't. But we've got the next big tournament, which is a big tournament, is the Extreme, and that's not this weekend. It's the weekend after. So next weekend will be
Labour weekend.
We'll be previewing the Extreme in a little bit more detail and going through and giving our picks as to who we think is going to be winning and doing well there. And obviously then they come thick and fast. There's pretty much one every week for about the next 6 or 7 weeks, and then obviously Christmas break, and then it all kicks off again with Tour Down Under starting in early January, and then
I don't know if this is only just been posted. I don't feel like I've seen it, but the 2025 New Zealand Disc Golf Open on January 25th to 27th, has that been posted yet? It doesn't have much traction on Facebook, and I think it only just came up while we've been on the show.
That's the TDU Auckland, right? So that's the 3rd TDU.
Yeah, Redwood Park. It's not the first. The first is in like 16th of January.
No. That's the 3rd TDU event, is what I mean.
Third. Sorry, I thought you said first.
Yeah,
sorry, apologies.
This is relatively new, at least newish. So registration opens for this on the 22nd for Tier 1s. That's 920 mixed and 820 ladies, and then 875 and 750. The ratings required for Tier 2, which is in a week's time. and that this is being run in Auckland. The tournament director it's run. It's a TDU event up in Auckland, being played at Redwood Park. It would seem so. Yeah.
Looks good.
So
Looks
yeah,
good.
Get involved in that. That's a new one for us. We'll have to put it onto our list because I don't think...
Yeah, for sure. As I said, I feel like it only just came up, like right now. No, that's a good one. We're hoping to get a chat in with Henry before TDU starts, right, Matt?
Yeah, we'd love to catch up with him and find out what the goss is regards to players coming over and stuff and
totally. That's it. That's probably almost one of the biggest talking points is just seeing who is coming out because everyone's excited for it. I'm sure we're going to see Nate Perkins come back again, which everyone will be excited for, and just seeing who
the
red carpet's being rolled out for. I know I'm excited for it.
Indeed. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that in an upcoming episode. Right. Let's head over to Discdle. Morgan, I went first last week, so you can go first this week.
Sure thing. Just to give the folks at home something to do while we fluff around and try and figure out what today's disc is. Right, floating above Matt's head is the Discdle Valley code Y3FH. Shoot over there before the end of the show, maybe right now, and try and get in the hot score for the week. But starting us off over on Discdle, guess 1 of 6. I'm going to start off with a Hornet, please, Tom.
Hornet.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right.
Is that an Innova Hornet?
No, it's a Discraft Hornet, I believe.
Oh.
Maybe they're out of production now.
Maybe.
Anywho, moving right along, I'll just go to the Buzz, please, since I'm on Discraft wagon right now. All right. Fade 1. We got that so far.
Speed is a little bit quicker, a little bit more glide, a little bit more fade. Okay, so what we're going to go?
3 of each division here.
We are, but the manufacturer's not Discraft, so we need to go to a speed like 6, 7, 8. There's not many speed 6 discs. It's probably it might be more likely to be a speed 7 because there's more of them. Mm-hmm. So we need a floaty speed 7 with a 1. Let's go River. I think that's -1/1, so it might not give us the thing, but the speed might be right. Oh no! So it's a speed 6. There's not many speed 6 discs. Okay. There's not many speed
6s. We're really looking at something like MVP. Am I right? Am I right in thinking that?
Oh, it might be a 5.5 or a 6.5. But let's try and have a 6. But the speed 6 disc.
I feel like there's not too many that aren't MVP or Axiom. There's not too many, and that sort of throws me into that weird realm of not knowing any of those discs.
Let's have a
you have a nudge. You have a nudge. I'm going to jump into the MVP disc quickly.
Well, Ocean Disc, Ollie at Ocean Disc is saying Relay. I quite like that as a guess.
Okay,
that sounds pretty promising. Oh, there it is!
Boom.
Wow. Boom.
Either Ollie's really good or he definitely played that today.
Well, very, very good on the guess of Relay. We did manage to narrow it down to a
I was kind of confident it was going to be something along those lines on a 6-speed. You just don't come across that very often at all, huh?
No, that's it. Right, let's head across to Disc Golf Valley. Who played this week? I had a shocker once again. I mean, I didn't have a shocker. I'm not very good, right? So, Arn 6 down, Kelvin 7 down.
Calling this out now, Burgess has had at least 2 to 3 goes because I've seen him before we went live on the show, and he was 5 down. He was 4 down with 3 to go, or 3 down with 3 to go.
Quite a few players tied on 7 down. Gregor on 7 down, Lowe on 7 down.
Nice.
Kelvin on 7 down.
Very doable on that course.
Really?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was trying to do mine right as the show was starting, and I was sitting there going, you're just missing stupid putts, but all the shots were pretty good.
So I dropped 9 strokes to that. Yeah, I'm just not very good at that game, clearly. Some other good performances there. Well done to everybody who took part in
very,
that.
very nice.
Let's have a look at some of the upcoming events that we have on the calendar. So obviously we didn't take out South Island Masters Games or OWACA.
The Extreme 24, though.
The Extreme 24. Now, the Extreme should be sold out by the looks of it. 158 of 168. So I don't know if there's still spots left if you're keen to play, but there might be one or two. We're not going to go for all the events because we'll be here all day and you've heard them before. But I just wanted to pull out a few that I'm particularly excited about. And Morgan, maybe you can pull out a couple that you're excited about. One, Faultline Fury, love it, brilliant tournament. 4 rounds of grueling disc golf, at least 2 played around Harcourt Park, which is if you're still in two minds as to whether to come up to Wellington at all to play a tournament, then get up for Faultline because it's a brilliant tournament. And Harcourt Park's one of the best disc golf tracks for a short course that you'll find. A short but difficult course, right? It's not one of your South Island pitch and putts. It's short, but it'll tear you a new one if you're not careful. The other one for me that I'm looking forward to is Egg Monster. Looks like I might be able to make it for that. So looking forward to potentially getting to Egg Monster in early Jan. Morgan, what have you got on the on the list?
Obviously we don't want to look too far into it, but Waihi Tapu coming up in just a couple of weeks' time. One of my events, mine and Adam, so very excited for that one. Closing in on 70 players, which is nice. We usually have around that 70 to 80, early 80s amount of players, so that's pretty good and standard at this point in time. One that I'm looking right down the list to the 15th of December in Christchurch is the Christchurch Disc Golf Club Champs. Now, I love the idea of club championships, and I do not think we see it anywhere near enough.
I like it. Oh, yeah,
it's been a talking point in our team chat recently about club champs, and hoping to see something like that come through in Queenstown. And I would love to just see it across the board throughout the whole country. Because
imagine like a Champions Cup. Do you know what I mean? That's got like where a division has got people who've won the club championships, and there might be like, I don't know how many clubs there are in New Zealand, probably about 12. But like in MPO, you got the 12 club champions who won MPO from each of the different disc golf clubs. For each division you could do that, or at least do it as much as you could. I think that'd be fantastic.
Yep. So yeah, club champs, that's my second one. Nope, that's all I'm going to go into right now. Everything else is on the screen. You guys can see it, and we say it week in, week out. So we'll just be echoing around the show.
Indeed. Right, let's have a look at the power rankings then, just to quickly remind ourselves where we're at. There's been no change in the power rankings since last week. But the big change from the last week was that Johnny Wakes moved into second place in the country in MPO, and Laura Backer makes moves in FPO. So yeah, I think that more or less wraps it up for us for today's show. Next week we'll be looking ahead to the Extreme and giving our picks on who we think is going to take out the first major of the season, North Island Champs, and deciding who we think is gonna be doing well. Morgan, any parting thoughts?
Nope, no parting thoughts. I just want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. You guys are the ones that are keeping the show ticking over. And if you want to see more things that we can bring to the table for you guys, present you with more media for different angles, maybe even outside of the show and out on the course, come and support us. It's a very small amount of money that goes a long way for us.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to get involved, there's a link on the next screen, patreon.com/SweetChainLive. And we're eternally grateful to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. In the meantime, get involved in the Secret Santa. Hopefully you'll be able to get out and play some disc golf this weekend, and wherever you're playing disc golf, Take it easy. Play well. Get some birdies, and we'll see you next week. Yes.